Hello, everybody, and welcome to the recording of our June 10th Community of Practice. Unfortunately, we did not record the original presentation, so this is a recording just for you. We'd like to start our community of practice with honoring and valuing each other for the hard work that we do. It is number 2 on our RISE culture. And last month we talked about safety, well-being, belonging, and making sure that we spend some time taking care of ourselves, practicing some self-care. When preparing for this presentation, I was able to interview a student who had written an article in her journalism class and was published on their school website, and was really touched and moved by the effect that her transition specialist had had on her life. So I did a reach out, and this quote is from a recent graduate in Southern Oregon. When asked about her transition specialist, this graduate stated that she's a great, hardworking advisor that's very easy to get along with. The nervousness just goes away, knowing she's always there, even though she's a few hours away. And I'm glad that I met her. This program made me feel welcomed, understanding where everyone's at in life and making sure you progress and keep moving forward. Student described feeling a sense of belonging after building a relationship with her transition specialist, working towards some goals. So wanted to honor that transition specialist and also the work that we all do. So thank you for that. Housekeeping is kind of a mute point at this juncture in time. So we will go through our regional spotlight and fiscal dashboard. Our Pre-ETS resources will be what to do with students who have plans for employment and how that interacts with our dashboard. And then we went over some frequently asked questions. Please remember, we value your questions, so reach out to your youth service coordinator with any questions you have directly associated with our contract. Spotlight, we wanted to just give you a snapshot of the dashboard that the business office and administrators have access to. In case there are questions, concerns, or you'd like to collaborate with your business office, they have a rolling tally, you might say, of the budget and what that looks like and not to exceed. They also have a good snapshot at any time of supplies, travel, and work-based learning experience wages. What might be really useful is looking at this 60-40. Remember, you want to keep that in balance as best you can, but there will be times where it may fluctuate a little bit in either direction. And the 60% direct services and arrangement for direct services and the 40% coordinated services is over that 15-month life of your contract. And if you have questions about that, please reach out to your business office and administrators. We also wanted to touch base with everyone around the functions in the dashboard that pertain to supplies, travel requests, and work-based learning experience wages. These are all items that need to be pre-authorized. And so we just wanted to make sure that we went over that. Travel requests are for any overnight travel. If it's daily travel or regular travel within the day, see your business office for your district's mileage forms. And remember, overnight travel must be at a per diem rate. And so you can check with your business office on that if you have questions. Supplies must be pre-authorized, and they must be for students to access Pre-ETS. Supplies can include materials which are curricular in nature that directly facilitate the provision of pre-employment transition services. So again, please, if you need supplies, just put in a request, and then we will have conversations. Your youth service coordinator will have conversations with you in regards to that. And then work-based learning wages. So these also need to be pre-approved. This ensures that you have the right amount of funding in your contract in order to pay students. Also gives us the ability to ensure that the work-based learning experience environment meets contract requirements, and that we are ensuring we're paying students at or above minimum wage. Now I'm going to turn it over to CJ.
So with students, one of the things that we were talking about is as of July 1st, those students that have an individualized plan for employment, that you will be documenting those pre-ETS for those students, because we've asked kind of to hold off until July 1. So we wanted to go over that kind of process of what's going to happen, because that you will be recording those pre-ETS in the dashboard for those students that have an IPE. So we also need to make sure that those students are entered into the dashboard. So we have created a very short document because we don't need, because they have a plan and there's already been the signatures that and that VRC is going to be in kind of on coordinating those pre-ETS, that we want to make sure though that that information is in the dashboard. So please make sure that you're going to utilize the form that we're going to show you in just a moment. And if you have not received it from your youth service coordinator, please make sure you do. So also, this doesn't change that communication with your VRC, so that all stays the same. And let's go to the form on the next slide. So this is the form. So it's just some basic information so we can make sure and get that student into the dashboard. So after July 1, that you can start reporting the pre-ETS for that student. Please make sure that when with the PID that you use for billing, that you're always using the current one that's on your dashboard, because they may change depending on where that student is from potentially eligible through intake process through a signed IPE. So just please make sure that you're using the current PID when you do your billing. Some just reminders about the forms that we have is that on the signature page, when a student is 18 and does not have a guardian, please make sure that they sign that parent section as well, so that a over 18 student signs twice. That is very helpful for the information that we're able to gather, because that parent signature has some additional uh, requirements that we're able to connect with the school. Um, any student that is going to be participating in the RFA summer work program that through VR, please note that in the pre-ETS request, because then we can pull all of that information and get it onto the spreadsheet, because those pre-ETS are recorded on a spreadsheet and not through the dashboard for those students. Also, students with 504 plans, it's really pretty important for that attestation to be completed on the signature page for those students, because we don't have always have access to that information, because schools are not required to report that to Department of Education. So we have our information from the Department of Education that we may not be able to determine that our student with a disability without that attestation. So please, if you are able to get that attestation completed. With the proof of service, please make sure when you are recording the pre-ETS delivered that you're using the PID on your dashboard. And remember that that PID may change as that student goes through the VR process. And with the attachments that you attach with your proof of service, it is extremely helpful if you could put the student's first and last name, and it would be helpful to also have the school name on there as well. That is very helpful for making sure that everything is aligned correctly with the student. Also making sure that that proof of service only has that student's information and there's no other students' names included in that. Next slide. We also wanted to just review the coordination activities and direct service. We really want to make sure that the coordination activities are not connected to a particular student. So these are those, it may be that you are helping a student fill out the form. But this is not the coordination of pre-ETS. That is under arrangement. So really wanting to make sure that when you are reporting pre-ETS, that there's kind of those three aspects to the direct service. So the direct service, these are those services that have been authorized, so those specific pre-ETS, and that prep that you do, that arrangement of that pre-ET for that student is those hours are included in the direct service that you're providing. Then there's the delivery of those pre-ETs, and then the wrap up and reporting and that documentation into the dashboard. All three of those pieces of direct service are included in your hours for direct service. So again, remembering direct service is specific to a student that have been authorized, and the coordination is typically not that specific student. The other piece with coordination activities, these are those things around those work opportunities. So when you're going around and looking for various locations, not specific for a student, but looking for a variety of work opportunities that may pop up for students, as well as coordinating with schools and teachers, talking about pre-ETS, talking about what's available, anything around that provision of pre-ETS. The additional piece that we also ask with the coordination activities is when you attend this community of practice, um, uh, when it's live, then you can record that hour under coordination activities, as well as any required meetings with your youth service coordinator. So we also wanted to review the timeline for the pre-ETS delivery and recording. So the delivery of pre-ETS happens throughout the month. And when you are reporting them, you can report them throughout the month. But if you are waiting, all pre-ETS must be recorded no later than the 5th of the next month. So for everything that occurred in May needed to be submitted by June 5th. So all the things for June by July 5th. So that 5th, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. This is an automated system. The additional pieces also with that reporting is any of your coordination activity reporting. So those things all must be done by the 5th. Then on the 6th, everything switches to VR, and we approve the reporting of the pre-ETS as well as coordinative activities between the 6th and the 15th of the month. And then on the 16th, then that switches to the school, and then the school has from the 16th to the 25th to develop the invoice for all of those services, which includes a variety of other things that they would request from you, such as your travel log and things like that. The upcoming events, we wanted people to know that for the VR in service, it is not required that you attend, and our partner days are August 21st and 22nd, and it is in Salem. So wanted people to be aware of that. We would love to see you there. And we will not have community of practice in July or August. We will start back up in September. And those will be a link coming to you in August for the September throughout the whole school year.
Please remember, if you have questions, reach out to your youth service coordinator in your region. And thank you for joining us for the Community of Practice recording today. Have a great day. And cut.
Stop recording.
Did, but I can't get the other
No,
thing.
it's not stopped. It's recording us.